There is a new Sentai trend I've noticed, and is it going to be worth it? Is it going to work? Is it actually new? Let's see. Past Sentai teams are reappearing in current Sentais more and more, and I don't mean in a versus movie kind of way or a TTFC special, where it is a separate thing from the original show, but bringing actual past Sentai characters into the main plot and have them reoccurring. It's a nice addition sometimes as it allows for nostalgia. But is it necessary? Does it really help with the plot to move forward? Well, let's talk specifics, shall we? First off, I can already hear an issue people may have with this. What about anniversary seasons, you may ask? Those in this context don't count. We know from shows such as Gokaiger that these shows are advertising themselves as anniversary seasons, interacting with past Sentai members, returning to their old roles, and being there to teach our pirates an important lesson are in the description pretty much. Or shows being referenced in specific ways, such as the villains or scenarios like in Don Brothers, where every episode was based around the concept or design of a past Sentai. Other characters didn't return in Don Brothers other than Kaito, in a way, or actors such as Hurricane's Nobukyo. If you don't believe me, check out my video where I talk about every Sentai reference in Don Brothers. Moving on. We are talking about shows that shouldn't really be referencing random shows, but they appear without warning. And I am talking about one of the most recent shows, Osama Sentai King Ohger, where we are thrown into the world of Kyoryuger midway through the show for some reason, where members of the Dino team are back, playing their own roles but grown up, alongside with introducing an entirely new character, a King Ohger exclusive. Now, I personally was really excited about this, being a fan of the Kyoryuger story and loving all the character dynamics, the twists and turns of the story. But on the other hand, I was very confused. Of course their anniversary was coming up, and that's why they were here. But couldn't you have just done a normal versus movie like usual? I'm sorry if I sound boring, but that's why we have them. They somehow concocted a reason for the King Ohgers to interact with them, being teleported away from their planet to our Earth because of Dugdead. The new character Prince was from the future and is the son of King, but was brought back in time, and King wasn't there but out in space looking for Dugdead, and oof, it's all kinda confusing to me. But ultimately, I find this strange. Yes, it shows that Dugdead is a menace to other planets, but the destruction of their Earth is a lot less substantial to the destruction of the planets he's cleared. It would be better if we were on one of the planets he completely decimated. This didn't really add anything to our King Ohgers. Also the theme, dinosaurs and royalty? Dinos and bugs? In my opinion, they are very different. Only thing I can really see bringing them together is that both of them are really old in storylines, and I guess the name of King and King. To be honest, I can see shows with similar themes having connections and references to old shows, and it makes sense to reference some aspects of other shows by including characters or items, because there is history there. For example, in Ninja, we had multiple Ninja Sentai members reappearing, cause ninja! That makes sense. We had Aka Ranger, Ninja Red, and Hurricane Red meeting Yoshitaka Igasaki, the grandfather of the ninjas, and they reminded him and us, the audience, that every Sentai starts like this, and they just need time to grow up into the warriors they will become. We had a reason for their appearance, rather than other shows just forcing them into the story to celebrate their anniversary. A similar theme as well as a lesson to learn in Shinobi 7 Spring Ninja Festival. This was well done. Another great example, again from Ninja, is Shurikenja appearing to test their skills later on in the show, showing us, the audience, the growth of our team from episode 7 to episode 43, stating that they have become fine ninjas at the end of the episode, to set up for the final stretch of the season. And the final example from Ninja, I promise this is the last one I'm going to mention, is in Shinobi 38, The Witch Girl Loves Yakumo. Tsubasa, Magi Yellow from the Magi Rangers, appears to teach Ao Ninja, Yakumo Kato magic. You may say, wait, ninjas and magic? But that is just what the show has involved in their plot. Yakumo learned European magic in England before the show starts, returning to Japan after being called home, and throughout the season learns to bring both magic and ninjutsu as one, and that's where Tsubasa comes into play. In a way, it makes sense. But dude, was it slightly confusing having all these ninjas returning and then randomly Tsubasa. But again, makes sense for our ninja, and this is more on the writing of the show for that one. These references and Sentai characters coming back make sense as they are connected to the characters in theme and the skills they need to learn. On top of that, they return for a singular episode. And that is the most common way past Sentais are brought up. But for King Ohger and Kyoryuger, the themes not connecting, they were there for several episodes, even Prince returning a few more times. Did this make sense? Did it impact the story and make it better? Would it have made a difference if it wasn't there at all? Honestly, I am not sure. I don't think the characters were impacted for the better. Just a way to show their royal duties in a situation that was bad for the Kyoryugers. They came in more as heroes, not as people who are needing to learn something. Gira didn't even learn anything from Prince until much later on when Prince appeared randomly to get Gabatira back. And that was just to keep going, which he could have learned from any of his people or any of his teammates. It was just a way to pass time for the kingdoms to fall apart or get corrupted by Dugdead. But they already did a time skip already, so what's that about? Only the Kyoryuger team were changed. Their bravery was returned from knowing and witnessing the kings in action. The kings themselves were not even affected positively from this experience. The only thing this whole goose chase helped us with was the lore of understanding the connection from way back when. How the Kyoryuger planet was connected to Chikyu all those hundreds of years ago. But in a show that focuses so heavily on world building and lore from the get-go, and had so much more lore in store for us when we returned to the world of the King Ohgers, it was slightly forgotten about and could have been discovered in a Versus movie or a TTFC special. Was it mentioned again? I don't think so. I mean, even the summer movie brought back all the characters that was introduced in that movie into the finale. Where was Prince? If he was such an integral part of this show that he had to be involved, where was he in the finale? Was it mentioned again? I don't think so. But I will take it back a bit because I think I might be a bit too passionate. But to make sure, I asked my server for their opinions. Eric Sento9 said no, but it was nice to see a former Sentai cast get to come back for a few episodes. True, I agree with this. It's Jeppy said, I wouldn't say it added to the characters, but it sure did add to the lore of the King Ohgers, which the show was already focusing on, like explaining how the humans came to Chikyu in the first place, and the origin of the castle, and it being a spaceship. Mick, on the other hand, disagreed with the others. It did having the Kyoryugers help then. It was better with them in it. The plot was better. I understand their passions, but let's move on. Critic added to this, saying, I felt like the Kyoryuger two-part team-up felt out of place among the second half. I got that plot-wise it helped kickstart the taking back of the kingdoms plot and also explained some of the lore, but I felt like this could have been done in a TTFC. Exactly what I'm saying. Critic adding, in terms of Prince, outside of the two-parter, he only has one random cameo to get Mini-Tira back, and he just leaves until this crossover movie. Couldn't agree more. It was brave of them to add a new character like Prince into the story, but felt like he was just added for show. He didn't really add anything, other than kind of badly acted moments, but maybe that was more writing, I don't know. Hopefully he is redeemed in the Versus movie. Finally, Doc Hikari said, I guess with the trend of current X anniversary season crossovers, it wouldn't have been unwise to assume one was coming. And that is connected to what I'm saying with this video. This trend of bringing back characters isn't just that, it's also trying to incorporate current and anniversary seasons together in crossover episodes and specials and more. Just give us more 10-year anniversary movies instead, honestly, I would prefer that. Don't get me wrong, it's great to have old Rangers come together in shows and interact with others again, but that's what the Versus movies and the TTFC specials are for those special moments that don't always fit in a show. When I watch a Sentai show, I'm there for the current new characters, the new dynamics and locations, the villains and threats. If I wanted to return to an old show, I would, and will be thankful for extra content we get on the side. I am so engrossed in the storytelling. I really think that Sentai does it so much better than Power Rangers. That's just my own opinion, but I think they take themselves a bit more seriously and understand what they're doing, and there's so much more depth to the characters in Sentai. I promise you, I will go back to these shows if it's a good show, and I will try and enjoy every moment. With this crossover, I did in fact enjoy it, but I think it was trying too hard to incorporate it together when in a way it didn't need to. Doc actually said more. I guess the whole king/prince thing was how they'd establish a link. If that was all it needed to make the connections, then fair. I mean, it is all a kids show, right? Can't take it all too seriously, I guess. But I do, so let's go on to my final part and the main points of this video. Boom Boonja and Go Onja has been confirmed. Go On Red is returning to his old role, racing with the Boom Boonjas in some capacity within the show's episodes, and not in a movie. Is this racing alongside them in the BBG, or as a car racing mentor? Will we see the other Go Onjas? I don't know. I can only assume that he will return for a few more episodes than a random appearance, following this new trend of King Ohger and Kyoryuger. But this time, it's cars with cars. This makes sense. Though it is still strange, it works. Racing Sentai with Racing Sentai, and with characters that were so impactful, such as Sasuke, who could be mad about this? I know one person that comes to mind who is having a ball about this. Honestly, I think we're all kind of hoped that this was going to happen. Many people assuming that at least one of the car Sentais was going to return with the racing theme and all. And also knowing how active Sasuke's actor is on his YouTube channel and his Twitter as well as events, I am not surprised. In episode 8, when they told us of the concept of the BBG, a space race, we knew it was going to happen, and I do hope we see all the Racing Sentai members there. I think this will impact our Boom Boonjas in the best way possible, rather than what happened in King Ohger. This will obviously challenge them to beat others in a competitive way, maybe even having to go against each other. The dynamics will shift and power struggles will change. Friendships will be torn, all made better when a member loses or wins. And what happens when one team shoves another off the road and an accident will happen? So much happens on and off the track. It will make for some great TV, and I can't wait. Also, have you ever wondered what is at the end of all of this? What is the prize for winning the race? Is it another wish, or is there more than that? Ultimately, we do not know what's happening until the episodes come out, and it seems that Sentai members will continue to return to newer Sentai shows in the episodes if we like it or not, as they have done before. But the fact that they may take a bigger role than before, or add rangers to the cast to connect the two further is still strange. Feels like the embodiment of the elephant in the room, sticking out like a sore thumb if you get what I mean. Maybe this isn't a trend, or even a new trend at all, and it was just a more incorporated versus reference, extended for nostalgia bait. Maybe, but if Go On Red is there for more than one episode, then as I said before, we could be witnessing a start of a new Sentai trend, all based off nostalgia bait and money grabbing. Let's see how it goes, everyone. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this new trend, and I'll see you guys next time. Kezza Henshin, Matane!